Hello, welcome to Intentionality. If you are on YouTube, you can see this, but if you're on Spotify, let me paint you the picture of what's going on here. First of all, this has been, honestly, really crazy busy week, and I haven't had much time to film. So if you're on YouTube, you'll notice it's dark in here. It's because it's definitely 9:15 p.m. right now. But I legit don't have any other time this week to film a podcast. So we're doing a late night talking yap sesh with me this week. Also haven't been prioritizing content creation literally because it's been busy. So quite frankly, for all of this week, I have not known what this episode is going to be about. But I did get an idea. I was like, what can I talk about for a long time? You'll find out pretty soon. Actually, the title of this podcast probably gives it away, but it's fine. Anyways, so since it's been a busy week and I also need to still prioritize rest and doing things that are fun for me, I kind of turned this podcast little setting into a self-care night. So I have these eye masks on, which I think I talked about in the one episode of like my favorite routines. Eye masks in the morning, at night, in times like this literally elevate the entire vibe. So I threw some on, and you know what? If you're at home, throw on a pair with me. If you got them, let's chill. Let's have a sweet, intentional night. And then my little drink for the day, since we're not filming in the morning, I have my magnesium nighttime drink. I use Night Nectar, which was so graciously given to me by one of my bosses because I was having a super hard time sleeping in the past, which, maybe we'll dig into on a later episode eventually. I don't know. But it's so good. It's like a tart cherry flavor and it hits so good. It's so nice to like have some kind of drink at night, or like I do lemon water in the morning. This is my okay, I need to rest. I need good sleep. I'll drink one of these. I don't usually like to use it as like a every night kind of thing. More like kind of like a treat, but it's like for a good reason, if that makes sense. So that is the drink for the day. I'll update you all on coffee anyway. I bought good vanilla bean paste, and I bought with a recommendation from Aaliyah, who has an espresso and has been working on drinks as well like I have. She said to get the almond butter Nutella kind of thing from Trader Joe's, so I got that. I bought sweetened condensed milk, but I haven't used it yet. And I also, what was the other thing that I got? I don't think that I got anything else, but I made a salted maple latte and it was fire. That is the best drink I've ever made. I made it in the latte and as a cold foam, and the cold foam specifically and the drink, the whole thing, 10 out of 10. I cannot get over it. It's been absolutely amazing. So that is my top drink at the moment. And there's your little coffee update, because I know last episode was just all of men, honestly. That was all them, and I'm glad because I have not had the mental capacity to really think about all of this, and that's not my heart. So we're realigning, reassessing, which obviously starting a podcast, and even my heart behind social media in general is to A, not burn out, 2, be authentic, and 3, we're here to learn. No one's here to be perfect. So if anyone else has the same goal as me, I hope you're learning from me. But also it's okay to go through these seasons as long as you don't stay stagnant. So after that little intro, I guess we will dive right in. I had my friend Riley, who has been on the podcast before. She was like, I'm going to Disneyland, and I was wondering if you had any like last minute tips or whatever. And I was driving and I didn't want to text, and it's like too much to try and explain over text. I feel like my text messages don't come across as well as my voice does. I think my text messages sound different than my voice does, if that makes sense. So I sent a voice memo, and it ended up being 8.5 minutes long. And I was like, wow, I can really, these are last minute tips. What the heck? How long could I probably talk about this? I figured I would start this off kind of talking about why Disney is so special to me. why I choose to go there as often as I do, just because I feel like it's really easy to get bagged on to be like a quote unquote Disney adult. Um, but honestly, the reason that I love Disney so much is just how much it meant to me in my childhood. My childhood was very much so. I have my parents divorced when I was 2, and I feel like oddly, not like really, but like in some sort of way, I feel like Disney was pretty consistent for me, and it was a pretty consistent like joy and fun thing that I got to do. I was definitely blessed enough to have parents who would get us annual passes before they got ridiculously expensive and we had a million kids. Because that's just a lot. And prices just kept raising and stuff. But I was able to go a lot. And there was a point in time where my grandma, who I'm very close with, unfortunately, she has a lot of back and spine problems. And she was going to a spine specialist down in LA for a bit. And there were times where she had, like, I think it was 13 appointments, but it was right next to Disneyland. So we would go every time and she would take me. And so that was like, I literally went 13 times in one summer, which is kind of insane, but um, also just like really sweet times with me and my mom. There was one time that I also went with just my grandma. My mom, I think, and my dad were both out of town for different reasons. And so I was staying with my grandma, and she was like, you know what, why don't we go to Disneyland? And that was one of my absolute favorite trips. I've been with school before. That was really fun in its time, not to look back on very much. I think I've also talked about how one of the times I went to Disneyland with my aunt's family and my grandma and papa, that was a time that really helped me kickstart me getting out of depression. I mean, I was technically at the 50th anniversary of Disneyland. I was like 2 or 3 or something like that. I think I was 2. But I have 50th anniversary years. Yeah, I went with my friends. I just feel like it's something that's so familiar to me and can bring so much joy to literally anyone in so many different capacities that it's just been a really sweet place for me, and I feel comfortable and safe. And that is where Luke and I went for our 1 year anniversary. And I corrupted Luke. Luke was not a quote Disney adult before me. He had only been a few times. And so when we went for our first trip, I kind of did the whole like, this is how we do Disneyland. And he was like, whoa, game changer. And so then we have now gone, I'd have to count. I think it's around 5 or 6 times that we've gone together. That's been so much fun. One of my favorite trips is when we just went with Colin and Skylar, who were both on last week's podcast. That was just so much fun. We've also gone with my dad. Okay, this is what I was trying to remember. My dad works in ag, and there's a convention that happens every other October. So every other October, my family and I would all go to Disneyland, which was always during Halloween. So that has another special place. The reason that Luke and I went for our 1 year was when he very first started snapping me. Like, we had not even hung out for the first time yet. I was at Disneyland and he was snapping me, and I loved talking to him so much. Like, I just kept snapping him wherever I was, and like was always talking to him. My phone was dying because I was talking to him so much. Like, it was just really sweet. And so that was definitely a core memory for me, and it was really sweet because that was during that convention from my dad's work. And so the next time that convention came around, my dad invited Luke to go with us. So it was like such a full circle moment of like, we were barely even talking. Now we've been dating for like almost 2 years. So that was really, really sweet. Yeah, so it's definitely one of those things that I've just been really, really fortunate to have in my life. And it's been very comfortable. So definitely super nostalgic for me. Some of my favorite things about Disney, I like to do everything, I guess. I like to see the different kinds of foods, drinks, go on as many rides as possible. Luke and I never really was into it before, but Luke and I have gotten really into I wouldn't say really into. We're into pin trading. Not really into. It goes deep. Let me tell you, it goes deep. But my first pin, I believe was a mystery pack my grandma got me like way back when. And it was back before people were like complete sets. I just like pulled a couple and I was like, oh, fun. And then I just had other random ones that meant little things when I went with my dad when I was just snapping Luke. I bought us Mike and Sully pins that we still have. Those ones we won't trade. But pin trading for us is more like, oh, I want to keep this one because it's like super special or it's really cool. Um, I also do like to complete sets now. There's something about having all of them that's really satisfying, and I have this a really good idea for a pin wall that requires having some complete sets. So, and it's also fun because you don't have to like buy a billion boxes to complete a set. There's a lot of things that you can do with trading. But our kind of like outlook on pin trading kind of changed this last time that we went. We were trying to collect the Wave B set, which has like 30 something pins in it. Why did I even try? But we had the worst luck. Like, I genuinely think there's no way that we could have pulled out of all of the different packs and all of the varieties. We pulled the same pack so many times. I have never seen anything like it ever. Like on any other TikTok and anyone else's experience, like we had to have been more lucky to pull these pins this amount of times than to pull any other pack, like seriously. And so that was really frustrating, and just a lot of people in the trading community, it's like genuinely on two different sides of the spectrum. People are either like so sweet and genuine and caring and they just want you to get what you want, they want to get what they want and they're sweet. And I've even had some people just be so sacrificial, which like Luke and I have tried to like be too. Like, you know what? Like, I don't even care. Like, if this is what you're looking for, look, like I would rather you have it. It doesn't mean that to me. And then there's people who are only in it for the value, are gonna resale, or just not very kind. And that was kind of a reason in this too, because we could probably have so many more of our collected sets in Wave B pins if people would have just been kind, which is really frustrating. And I know a lot of people on TikTok struggle with the same thing. And literally, people are scared of going to the pin trading tables because people are so mean. Like, come on, let's get it together, pin trading community. Anyways, Luke and I have kind of moved from trying to collect sets to collecting types of pins, which a lot of people do. So I want to collect a few, but I want to collect Disney cats. So Lucifer from Cinderella, Marie from Aristocats, uh, Dinah from Alice in Wonderland, XYZ. I think Disney cats are so cute, and I want to collect those. And I also want to collect Disney princesses, specifically probably Sleeping Beauty. She is my favorite princess, and most of the pins of her are actually so precious. But I also want to do like all Disney princesses too, because there could be really cool ones of a bunch. So I think it'd be cool to have a frame for Aurora and then a frame for all the rest of the miscellaneous Disney princesses. I think that could be cool. I also want to collect Disneyland park specific pins. So that would be where like Luke and I's Club 33 pins went, or there are also like other Disney, like there's a Disney castle pin from Wave B that like is Small World, like an attraction based ride, or one of the like the bubble wand things, like those can go in there. Things that are like based off of the Disneyland park, I think would be cool to go in there. I know Luke wants to collect, I think, Pinocchio for sure. I also think he wants like Monsters Inc. Or Toy Story or something like that. We haven't been back to Disneyland since we kind of reconfigured this, so we haven't really got to think about it. But yeah, so in that case, we'll have other random pins, and they'll be like, "Oh, you have one from this." Like, I don't know, just see what our pin collection grows to look like in that way. But that's a little bit about pin trading and pin trading for us. It's really fun. It's like a sweet community, and another thing to do at Disneyland, especially because we like to go so often. We do want to get annual passes, but we go so often that it is exhausting to like ride every ride every time, and also like that can get redundant, or like the rides can get old and stuff. And so something that Luke and I have really been liking to do has been pin trading. Like, let's take some time, take a break, go to the tables, trade pins, and pull a few packs. And That's been super fun. Just to like have some chill downtime. It's my dream, absolute dream, to just have like a study day at Disneyland. Like if I lived close to Disneyland or like had the time to just go and spend a day, or if I had an annual pass specifically and didn't have to pay an arm and a leg to spend all that time there for a day, I would love to like work remote or content prep, like do something like that at Disneyland. Imagine doing that in Docking Bay 7 or in Fantasyland, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, go on a ride. What do you even mean? That would be so much fun. I made a TikTok about that and it got almost 2,000 views. LOL. And everyone in the comments were literally just, LA is not Orange County. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. I've had 2 videos now blow up. Well, no, more than that. 2 that specifically blew up in this kind of way. That one that I just explained, and then one that I posted the other day, which was me trying the new Starbucks chai. And everyone in the comments is literally just mad about how the new chai tastes. I genuinely am the most unfazed person in this video. You would literally be like, what the heck? Like, if I showed you the video and you were to assume what the comments would be, it would not be what these comments are. They're all like pissed. Like, I have paragraphs on paragraphs of why people hate the chai. And I wasn't like, you need to like the chai, it's so good. I was just like, meh, yeah, tastes good, I guess. I don't really see a difference. It's literally all I said. Yeah, so that's been crazy. That's a little tangent, but it's just been fun to like have more time and rest at Disneyland. I think there will definitely be days where it's like, yeah, let's do the full-blown thing, go for it, do as much as we can. But I think it's also just been sweet to like experience the park in other kind of ways, which I think you see a lot with like Disney influencers and stuff. Like, just to be able to have the time to not have to feel like you have to do everything is just really sweet. I really wish I could do that. Let's get into my kind of tips for Disneyland. I know that I'm saying that I want to do like chill days, but let me tell you how to do an Emma Fanko Disney day. Period. This is what I tell people when they ask me what to do, which has happened a few times now. I am gonna try to explain on either if you have one day park hoppers, or I'm sorry, not one day. If you have a park hopper or a 1 day pass, if you're doing a multiple day trip, I would say do a 1 day pass. If you're doing like a 2 day trip, that's most commonly what Luke and I would do. We would do 1 day at Disneyland and 1 day at California Adventure. This is because if you are to park hop, you have to take the time to walk from wherever you are to the other park. And yes, it's fun to like have the freedom of like, oh, I want to go over here. And like, if you're more on the big rides and you're like, I just want to do the big rides, you don't really want to do everything, park hopper might be more for you. But for me, I think that just spending as much time in one park doing as much as possible stays a lot more refined than having to switch back and forth. So you can do that. Or also, if you have the means, get a park hopper, because then it's like, I just kind of want to walk over here and do this. Like, then go ahead, do park hopper. They are really fun. If you're doing a 1 day trip, obviously park hopper, because then if there are things that you want to get done at both parks, then you can prioritize those. I believe strongly you can do Disneyland Park, just Disneyland, in 1 day. DCA, which is California Adventure, very easily a one day pass. You can get that done really quickly, very efficiently, super easily. That's my advice, I guess, on tickets. If you have 3 day park hoppers, girl, you're getting everything done. Don't even fret. You're going to be fine. Lightning lanes. So this is the new Fast Pass. I would say if you're doing a short trip, if you're doing a 1 day trip, 1 day park hopper, 1 day, one park, I would say lightning lane, especially if you're prioritizing rides and really trying to do as much as you can, getting as much out of the day. I would say get a lightning lane pass. You don't need to do the most expensive one. Don't do that. Don't. Just get the cheapest one. It's perfectly fine. And you can book them, I'm pretty sure, once you get into the park. You can book out by time though, and that is kind of like, it spaces you. I think that the lowest, like the cheapest one, I can't talk for the more expensive ones because I never get them, but I know that the cheapest one, you have to like wait a certain amount of time within like however many you've used. But you have to be aware that usually Space Mountain is going to book out to the end of the day. And that's usually the only one that super books out. The other ones you can kind of watch and be like, it's booking out a little bit. So you just have to keep an eye on the times of when you can schedule them, because if it gets too late, you're screwed and you have to wait in the line. Also, Rise of the Resistance and Radiator Springs Racers. Oh, sorry, we're talking about both parks. Guardians of the Galaxy and Incredicoaster will also book out very late, so keep an eye on those and book those fairly quickly. Now I'm going to go back to Disneyland. Rise of the Resistance and Radiator Springs, which is DCA, sorry. Those two you both have to pay like an additional $20 or something to go on. Do not do that. It's very silly. Yes, the line is going to be long, but at the peak of the day, at around 12 to 2, any line that you wait in is going to be long. This is when all of the kids are there, everyone's there. Around like 3 and 4, people go back for a nap and then come back for fireworks. But literally, even in Fantasyland, every single ride is going to have a long wait. Might as well wait in the one that always has a long line. So this is when I like to grab a bigger lunch, a drink that I want, and head to Radiator Springs or Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance specifically, because there are a lot of seating in that line queue. Props, Disney. Please do this in more line queues. There's so much seating. So you can literally sit down and like scoot around the bench pretty much all the way through the line. So it's pretty easy to eat and chill and kind of just have a relaxed time in the middle of the day. I like to do that a lot. And that also applies to if you don't have Lightning Lane. Just literally hit up Rise of Resistance or Radiator Springs Racers halfway through the day. Another tip for California Adventure, if you have a Lightning Lane, do not book Guardians of the Galaxy and Incredicoaster first. You rope drop Guardians of the Galaxy and Incredicoaster, which I usually wouldn't say rope drop the biggest attractions. Never rope drop the biggest attractions in Disneyland. But in California Adventure, I found it very successful because Guardians of the Galaxy is like one of the very first rides. Like it's so close to the entrance and the rope is so close to the actual attraction that even if there's a bunch of people in front of you, you're waiting in that line for maximum 15 minutes, which is so good for that ride. And then you hop off that, you walk right over to Incredicoaster, probably going to be the same thing, 15 minutes. So then if you have a Lightning Lane, and you're like, you know what? And because you can do pretty much everything in California Adventure in one day, you're like, you know what? I want to do this one later. Like, go do them at night. They're so vibey at night. Book your Lightning Lane for those two later in the day, and you'll have so much fun. Rope dropping in Disneyland, however, never, ever, ever, ever rope drop Rise of the Resistance. 90% of the time, it's broken. 90% of the time, it's going to break, and everyone is going to run and try to get on Rise of the Resistance first. It's useless. Don't rope drop Star Wars Land. I've noticed that the Millennium Falcon is also usually broken, or the Rise of the Resistance is broken, so everyone goes to the Millennium Falcon. Honestly, that one never even should have a long line. You don't need to wait you don't need to wait in over 30 minutes for that line, ever. I also would not recommend rope dropping Space Mountain. That's another one that everyone is going to try to rope drop. Not really worth it. You're going to wait in a long line for that one anyway. Best one to use a Lightning Lane for, or single rider, or same thing as Rise of the Resistance. Just wait. That one's a really easy one to take a look at, though, because if you keep your eye on it, it'll end up going down and you can hop on at a pretty good time. Here's another thing. If you ever see a big attraction at a very low wait time, do not run for it. If you're close to it and you're like, hey, let's just walk right there, cool. If you're on the other side of the park or more than like a 10-minute walk away from the ride, by the time you get there, everyone else just did the exact same thing as you, and you're going to be waiting in a way longer line than you anticipated, and a way longer line than the ride is even worth. Do not run. Do not run to an attraction that looks like it has a short line. I guarantee you everyone does the exact same thing. What I do like to rope drop, this one, in between. I don't really know. A good one to rope drop is Indiana Jones. Same thing. It's very close to is very close to the rope drop, so it's very easy to get to. However, it also closes often in the morning. But if the line is already, if you go towards it and it's closed, it's very easy to walk right past. And you can do like Haunted Mansion, great one to rope drop. You can do during the summer Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Do you want to do that in the morning? No. That one's another one that's worth like doing when it's hot, even when it's busy. Or I like to do that actually after Rise of the Resistance in the midday, because then you can just walk right over to it and get on that, chill. And then you can do Winnie the Pooh. So, but I'm also saying that you have some options. I like to rope drop that corner of the park because there's so much that usually have pretty long waits, and you can knock out so much in the morning. Also, for some reason, no one rope drops Big Thunder. It never really has the longest line when I go in the morning, but go for Indiana Jones first. If it's closed, keep walking, go somewhere else. If it's not closed, get in line. If you get in line, cool. You got on it, quick wait, you good. If it closes, they will give you a lightning lane for any ride that you want. So this is great if you don't have lightning lane, because you will get a free one and you can use it anywhere. It doesn't even have to be on Indiana Jones. So life hack, if you have lightning lane, rope drop one that you'd be cool with doing twice. Or okay, hot take, if this is something that matters to you, or if you're actually trying to get everything done at Disneyland, rope drop Fantasyland. No one goes there. Rope drop Peter Pan first, because that one is the only one in Fantasyland that consistently has a long line. Rope drop Peter Pan, and then Mr. Toad's, 5 minute. Pinocchio, 5 minute. Snow White, 5 minute. Dumbo, 5 minute. Mad Tea Party, 5 minute. Storybook Land, 5 minute. You just knocked out so many rides. So many rides that could take you longer. So that one's super great to do as a rope drop. I've always wanted to do that, but usually I'm with other people that don't really want to. So I think the next time that Luke and I go, we're going to rope drop Fantasyland, because we like all those rides and it's sweet to be able to do them. So that's been our dream, and I have really wanted to do that. Another one that can be good to rope drop is Mickey's Runaway Railway. Another one because you can hop onto Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin right next to it after. That one's just such a good ride, and it fluctuates. It sometimes has a 15-minute wait, sometimes has a 15-minute wait. I don't know, it goes in between. That's a really fun area because not many people go that way. So then you can kind of make your way into Tomorrowland, go on Autotopia, go on Space Mountain, Star Tours if you don't get sick, and then also just checking in on that Space Mountain wait line, wait time. And yeah, you might be able to knock out all of that. Those are two great corners of the park to rope drop. Three options to rope drop. I would say number one, the Indiana Jones Adventureland, Bayou Country type area, New Orleans Square. Number two, Fantasyland. Number three, Mickey's Runaway Railway. That would be my rank on what I think are the best three ways to rope drop Disneyland. There's only one good. No, there's not only one. I'm sure there's a million different people want to do different things. I think it also could be really beneficial to rope drop Soarin', because it's also very close to the entrance, so you can just walk onto that one. But I also know a lot of people do try to rope drop that one, doing Goofy Sky School in the morning. So much fun. Dude, you know what's slept on? The Silly Symphony Swings, California Adventure. Those things are so fun. I think I might be biased because Luke did this really funny thing where he just like went completely limp. If you get sick, do not do this. If you get even mildly sick, do not do this. But Luke just like completely went limp and looked dead, like he passed out. And it caught me so off guard. It was so funny. So we do it every time now. And so that's been, it's just something that we never miss. It's pretty fun and it always has a short line, so it's just sweet for us to do. Midway Mania, don't rope drop. That one always has a long line, and it will get shorter towards the nighttime, so hold out, be patient. That's another thing. Be patient. When you go to Disneyland and you're like, I want to do this, you're going to end up waiting in long lines because you just remembered the next thing that you want to do. If you plan it accordingly, you will be able to get everything done if you're patient. Another thing that I like to do, mobile order your food. Please get the Disneyland app. It's very, I think do you have to have it? No. not to scan your ticket. It's very helpful, but you can scan your ticket on it, mobile order food, do your lightning lane, X, Y, and Z. But mobile ordering food, I don't understand the people that don't mobile order food. It actually doesn't make sense to me. But it's so cool because when you order it, you can see the picture, the explanation, da 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 da. I like to watch TikToks and see people's ratings, things that they get, things I choose to get. And then I usually go look at the menu. If there's like, okay, I'm seeing a bunch of different things from Troubadour Tavern, I'm going to go look at Troubadour Tavern's menu because I want to see what they got. There are some things that you can't mobile order, like Rancho de Zocal. You cannot mobile order there, but that's also more of like a sit down eat kind of place. If that's your thing, Luke and I ate there a couple of times, but it's worth looking on the menus for all of them. Before you go, I like to watch TikToks if there's like a festival going on or like the 70th anniversary, something like that, something being celebrated. It is so worth looking up those things to narrow it down. Because there might be something that looks good and it's in fact not, or it's not exactly what a lot of people's expectations were. For example, pink milk. Blue milk, surprisingly good. I thought that I would have absolutely hated that. It's literally just a slushy, and honestly, pretty good, pretty refreshing. Pink milk, I was like, ooh, it's gonna be like guava, maybe a little bit sour, like passion fruit. No, bubblegum. Artificial bubblegum flavor. And I'm so glad because I had it on my list because they like ominously posted like pink milk coming and didn't say what the flavors were. It's bubblegum. Artificial bubblegum flavor is probably one of my least favorite things in the entire world. Entire world. It makes me sick. So I'm so glad that I saw that because otherwise I would have been convinced and it would have not gone well. I like to look before I go and write a note. I am excessive, so maybe you don't have to do it like this. I find it to be the easiest way. Again, especially if you're trying to just do as much as you can and be efficient. I like to have it in two separate sections if you're going to both parks, California Adventure and Disneyland. And then if I see something from Troubadour Tavern or something, or Red Rose Tavern, I'll put Red Rose Tavern and then like the thing on the notes, it's like the circle and you can click the check mark. I write it there and there'll usually be a few things, but I like to write down like an excessive amount, like more than what you will actually eat, because when you're there, things are going to sound good to different things are going to sound good to you in the moment. Or I write down things that I think Luke might like. If it's something that I just might like, sometimes I'll write it down because like, oh, maybe he'll want to get something and I'll want to get something else. Because sometimes we'll do that, but not that much. But I'll write down anything because I might write down something and Luke be like, oh, that actually sounds pretty good. So just write down anything that sounds good, because then you'll have a more concentrated list instead of being like, I don't know, this is near, let's see if there's something that I like. You'll probably end up getting things and spending your money well, looking at things that you want beforehand. And also, then you won't have to dictate what you're eating being around you because you can plan your day according to the things that you want to eat. So it's like, oh, like we kind of want to do this ride next. Well, okay, let's see what's over there to eat or what's around us right now to eat. And you can look at the menu that you've curated yourself to see what you like. And then, like I said, there's a more probable chance that you're going to end up enjoying what you ate and what you found and the money that you spent on it if you're really thinking about what you want beforehand instead of just choosing something that's near. Also, another thing, if you're going with friends, share your food. You guys don't need to especially if you're getting the same thing or you like the same type of things, do not get two plates unless you're starving. But I have enjoyed so much just getting something with Luke and splitting it because then we are able to try more and just like be good. Like I don't need to eat this. 90% of the time I'm not going to finish something. But usually we try to do at least one bigger meal for ourselves during the day so we have like more fuel instead of just like kind of snacking. But I found that super affordable, or much more affordable. Yeah, it's just fun because you get to end up trying more things because you got to share it with someone. So that's really sweet. I'm not a huge show watching person, but I do want to watch Fantasmic. Actually, guys, no one attack me. I've never seen Fantasmic. Yeah, I've never seen Fantasmic. Don't get me wrong, I really, really want to. And I was actually so sad because the last time that I went, we were there for 2 days, and literally the day I was in Disneyland, they didn't have it that night. And I was actually so sad. But I would recommend it because Luke and I walked past it once, and it looked crazy. It looked insane. So I think the next time we go, that might be something that we do, is we sit down, get a good spot, get something to eat, bring a little game. That's what I mean by, like, when you've done it so many times, it might be nice just to, like, relax and enjoy things in, like, a less fast-paced way. Seems like so much fun. Fun facts. There is a cantina in Star Wars Land. Super fun if that's something that you'd be interested in. It's kind of secret. It's not really, like, it's known, but you have to, like, wait to get in, and it's super fun. So that may be something you might want to plan for. That one's good. One of the best places to eat, I would say Galactic Grill usually has good breakfast. They usually have a good breakfast burrito or a breakfast bagel. Oh my gosh, I got such a good breakfast bagel from there. So good. I also think Red Rose Tavern, another staple. You know what hits at night? It's going to always hit at night. Chicken nuggets and fries. Okay, if you're staying either in, like, the Disneyland Hotel or any of the smaller hotels on that side of the park, which is where Luke and I stay, look at those inns. They usually are super cheap, and the walk to the park is not that hard at all. It's very easy to get in on the monorail. If the line is long, don't bother. But that is a nice way to, I don't know. I wouldn't rope drop Space Mountain from there, though, because when the rope drops, that's when they're going to be letting you in on the monorail. So you'll have to take all of that time that you're on the monorail, all of the time to get off before you can go somewhere. But I like to use the monorail throughout the day, or especially at night. Oh my gosh, Autopia at night and then just hopping on the monorail. It is like the best break ever, and it saves you so much walking. That is a lovely tip. Another thing that also can go for, like, the Disneyland Railroad, because you can get on it until the park closes. Like, if the park closed at 10, you can get on at 9:59 and go all the way around. So that's also really nice. If you are a break type of person, I would say take your break around 1 to 3-ish. I think that is still a pretty busy time of the day, and when you come back, it should be a little bit more slowed down, less overwhelming, and a little bit more manageable. If you're a break kind of person, that's the time that I would say to take a break. Favorite rides are Matterhorn, Mickey's Runaway Railway. If you haven't done Mickey's Runaway Railway, do not look it up. Please just go on it. It's so much fun. I love Big Thunder, love Peter Pan, Radiator Springs Racers, Goofy Sky School, Silly Symphony Swings. Obviously, I love, like, Incredicoaster, Guardians of the Galaxy, and X, Y, and Z. Those are all definitely okay. If you don't like drop towers and you're like, I'm not doing Guardians of the Galaxy, do Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm telling you, you gotta do it. It's not like a normal up and down drop. You're like, I went on the Tower of Terror. It's different. It's different in a really cool way, and honestly, so much fun. I would say push yourself, go on it, risk it for the biscuit. If you have kids and your kids are too scared to go on, let them go. Honestly, I'm just gonna say I'm the oldest by far, and I am not scared of any roller coasters because my family made me go on them the second that I was tall enough, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because now, like, I mean, it's really fun when there's, like, some element of fear. But I get every single time that I've seen kids go on a ride after their parents force them to do it, they're like, I want to go again. Obviously, if they're going to, like, throw a temper tantrum that's, like, unmanageable, okay, maybe don't. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. But if they're, like, nervous and, like, don't feel bad, they're going to end up having so much fun. If you have looked up merch that you want beforehand, you should look for it as early as possible. There's always a chance, especially if you're seeing it like a trendy kind of thing on TikTok or something like that, there's a large possibility it's going to be gone. But take some note of some things that you might like and look for them early, because the longer the day goes on, the less chance that you're going to see them. They don't restock throughout the day. So if there's merch that you've got your eye on, look for it as soon as possible. Hidden gems to find ears would be the Tiana's gift shop, Mad Hatter. I like to shop in DCA on the left side store. They like all kind of connect. There's always such good stuff there. Oh, okay. And then on Main Street, a lot of people go into Emporium on the left. On the right, actually, there's a lot more like elevated chic clothes over there. Usually have like really good ears, most like vault collections kind of stuff. I love that store so much. And also further down, there is a Christmas store where you can get ornaments at any time of the year, and they also have like a ton of mugs, which I love, and like home stuff. Love that. Love that a lot. Because then you're seeing more than just like the everyday kind of stuff that is still lovely and I still love. That's all going to be on the left side. But the other kind of more niche stuff, which I like to find things that I don't usually see a lot of people wear, like my ears, my ear collection, is I always would choose the one that I didn't really think I saw many other people wear and that I actually liked, obviously. I was fortunate enough to, not every time, but most of the times I would go with my family. They'd get me little ear headbands. And so I love those. Those are an absolute must for my outfits. Speaking of ears, ears are another thing that are just absolutely so special to me. I love them so much. I think one of my favorite stories, which I might have shared, I don't know. One of my regulars when I worked at Cup of Joy had this dog, and we all like loved his dog, right? And at Cuppa, we would always like make conversation with everyone and whatever. And this guy would come in and get like a latte or something like that. And one time, it's like, oh, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm getting ready to go to Disneyland Paris. And I was like, no way. And me and a couple other people, we all love Disney there. And we were like, no way, you're going to Disneyland Paris? Like, that is one of my dream places to travel. I want to go to Disneyland Paris so bad. It has the most realistic Sleeping Beauty castle, which I mentioned is my favorite princess. And it also has like the bushes, the trees are all cut like Sleeping Beauty. Are you joking? Not like Sleeping Beauty herself, like from the movie. It looks like it's completely from the movie. I want to go there so bad. And so obviously I'm explaining like, oh my gosh, Disneyland Paris, I love the castle, Sleeping Beauty is my favorite princess, da 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 da. Whatever. This sweet guy comes back with Sleeping Beauty Disneyland Paris ears for me. Ears. Like, knew I had an ear collection. It says Disneyland Paris down the side. Like, are you actually joking? Stop. And he came back with a couple other things for a couple other of my coworkers, but just like so kind. And that was absolutely insane to me. But now I have Disneyland Paris ears. I have Club 33 ears, and those are my pride and joys. I have a lot too from like my young years and my first pair of ears, and I have these ones that are like a leopard print bow, and I literally never see anyone wear them, and they're so cute. Anyways, I think that is enough Disneyland talk. Hopefully you got a lot of tips and ideas on how to plan your next trip. If you have more questions, low-key, just ask me. I will literally tell you anything that you want, and I will recommend hotels and everything. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your next Disney trip, or at least learned a little bit more about why Disneyland is so special to me. And I will see you next week.